In this video, I wanted to talk about space again because, space is cool and it's big, and so there's a lot of things in it that you can talk about. Last night, I didn't even mention this. Last night, it was a nice clear night, and Jupiter was up in the sky, so I got my telescope out. My telescope, oh, I was going to say, oh, my telescope looks like this, and then have a picture come over the screen, but that's too much work to edit that in. Ugh. I'm not going to edit any of these at all. Okay, so I got my telescope out. It's about yay long, and it has a lens that's about that big. Focal length is 900 millimeters, and the lens is 60 millimeters in diameter. So it's not like a super powerful telescope or anything, but I can see Jupiter with it. So that's kind of nice. Oh, that's lovely. Sorry about that. Okay, Jupiter is a planet. It's really big. It's far, far away. And back in the early days of telescopes, people started looking at Jupiter. Galileo started looking at Jupiter, and he saw these little things, these right next to it, these little lights next to Jupiter, and he's like, "What's that? Jupiter has its own moons," and he had 4 of them. Wow, that was pretty amazing. So Jupiter was pretty cool, and so the moons got named, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. And I'm pretty sure it's hard to say just based on one observation, but it looked like I was seeing Europa and Callisto, but actually it looked like it was Europa over here, and then Ganymede and Callisto. I could see 3 moons. Like, there was one of them I couldn't see, which was Io. I'm pretty sure it was Io that I couldn't see because that's the closest in, so it was probably around the back somewhere. What's kind of interesting about the moons is that they have the 3 inner moons have a, what do you call it? I forget the word. They're like in harmonic. Harmonic? I think that's what it is. So every time Io goes around once, right, then Europa goes halfway around. So every time Europa goes around once, Io goes around twice. And every time Callisto goes around once, Io goes around 4 times. So Callisto goes quarter of the way, Io goes all the way. That's kind of cool too. And Io is an interesting moon because it's the closest in, and so it has the most force of Jupiter's gravity acting on it. Tidal forces, it's called. Io is in tidal lock, meaning I mentioned tidal lock with Mercury and the moon, so the same side always faces Jupiter, but tidal forces still pull on the moon, and the friction caused by the stretching of the body of the thing. Cat's over there and just making sure he's not being naughty again. Anyway, so that keeps the inside of Io very hot, and so Io is covered with volcanoes. It's got like hundreds of volcanoes. That's pretty cool. Europa, you've probably heard a lot of this stuff before. Europa, it looks like it's all made of ice, and it's probably got a liquid ocean under there, and who knows if there's life or whatever. Ganymede is also pretty icy, and they think it has even deeper, more water than Europa, so that's interesting. And then I don't know much about Callisto, actually. It's kind of weird looking. It's dark. It's real dark in color on the surface, and I don't think that there's much water on it. It's just kind of rocky, and Yeah, okay. So yeah, that was fun. I was, like going out with the telescope. Now on Monday, day after, tomorrow, Io is going to make a transit across the face of Jupiter, and and you'll be able, if you have a telescope, you'll be able to see the shadow of Io go across the face of Jupiter. So that ought to be interesting. I'm gonna look at that. It's, if you have a telescope and you want to look at it, you could try to look at it with binoculars, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it very well. um, with my telescope, when I look through the thing, Jupiter looks about that big. I can just barely make out some lines on the surface, But the transit's going to take, it's going to be like halfway around 9:14 p.m. Eastern time, so 8:14 my time, Central time. So if you're on the West Coast, it'll probably be too early and won't be dark. Sorry. But if you're, over in England, it'll be 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. It'll be 2 in the morning. So if you're still up and you want to look at it, if Jupiter's visible in England at 2 in the morning, I don't know if it's going to be. But you can go and have a look if you want. So that's what's happening with Jupiter. So that's the end of this video. Bye.